So what we are going to do today is firstly look into the aspects of Lal Kitab, which is one of the most important tools to be understood if you have to do analysis in Lal Kitab. We are going to go into a little bit of depth of that. And then secondly, we will be looking into that kidney case of that girl, which I had posted. Okay. So let's start off immediately. I hope all of you can see the screen. Can all of you see the screen? Just do a thumbs up. Okay. So now, if you remember, I'll very quickly go through the aspects. So there was a 100% aspect which comes from first house to the seventh house, and from the fourth house to the 10th house, and a ulta drishti from the 8th house to the second house. I hope all of you remember that. There is no other way. So as I'm undoing, I'll go one by one. So 8 to second is 1, 4 to 10th is 1, and first to 7th is 1. Okay. We'll go into the depth of this in just 5 minutes. Next one, which was a 50% drishti, was from 3rd to 11th, 3rd to 9th, and 5th to 9th. Correct? This was, again, I'm repeating. So 5th to 9th, 3rd to 9th, 3rd to 11th. And then there was a 25% drishti, which was coming from 2 to 6 and 6 to 12. Correct? And we had also taken one step further in understanding that there was a ulti drishti from 8 to 2. So basically 8, if there are planets in 8, 2, 6 and 12, then the 8th drishti also finally reaches the 12, or the second reaches the 12, because 8 goes to 2, 2 goes to 6, 6 goes to 12. So it's like a commutative theory. So 2 also goes to 12, and so this will come later on. Don't break your head just now. But basically, these are the 25% drishtis. Then we also had a special drishti, which was Saturn, which if Saturn is in 6th, he is capable of hitting back at the second. That was one. And then there was another drishti, which we had said Mercury ka drishti, that if Mercury is seated either in 3 or 9, it will hit. So from 3 it will hit 9, from 9 it will hit 3, and 6 and 12. So if it is in 6, it will hit 12, 12 it will hit 6. This is only for Mercury. I hope you remember this. Okay. Now, based on this, what is given in the Lal Kitab is this. So I have made it in a simplified form because that is a little complicated over there. I have made it in a simplified form. Just try to understand it. It will make, I realized it makes a lot of difference in the analysis later on. So if you see these highlighted ones, which are basically called Kendra in Parashari 1, 4, 7, 10, correct? These are the Kendra houses. So what they have done is they have taken what is exalted over here. So as per Lal Kitab, or even as per this thing, Parashar is the same thing. So here what is exalted? Sun is exalted in the first house, mein first Rashi pakdo. When we are doing Lal Kitab, always say, if I say Rashi, also just think that we are doing the Kalpurush Kundi, okay? In case I'm so used to saying Rashi, so if I say Rashi, it's the same thing as houses, obviously. So first house, Sun is exalted, or first Rashi is exalted. So what they're saying, everything related to the native's body, his physical thing, whether good, bad, this, that, everything. So if this first house is good, that will talk about that fellow's health, body, everything, health, not wealth, health, okay, the body, physical part. If you see the fourth one, in the fourth Rashi, Jupiter is exalted. Correct? Jupiter, if you remember, is Bhagya, wealth, gold. So it says that the fourth house talks about that fellow's wealth, whether he's going to be a wealthy person or not. So in simple words, we don't look at fourth as wealth in our D1, right? We look at it as property, we look at it as mother, so many other things. So here it's slightly different. So fourth, if you have to see somebody's wealth, then you need to see the fourth house. In the seventh house, Saturn is exalted. So Saturn, if you remember, is the karak of property. Built property is Saturn. If you have not written it in your karak, write it on built property. So seventh house talks about his property, not fourth like how we are used to doing. So seventh house is the house of property. Just 1 minute. Okay, sorry. So if you have to see that fellow's property, good, bad, whatever, etc., you have to see it here. 10th house
The
Mars,
property,
property.
so प्रॉपर्टी इसमें हर एक एस्पेक्ट में कि सिर्फ लाल किताब में मेंशन करना है?
This we are talking only Lal Kitab. Now at the moment, forget Parashar.
Okay.
Because it is different.
Okay.
If you try to mix them up, you will have to unlearn that thing to learn this. But it's very
ठीक
important. So the seventh house का good bad. What I mean is the seventh house का good bad ugly of the seventh house. It's not Saturn. It is seventh house का good bad ugly will tell you about that fellow's property. The good bad ugly of the 10th house, where the thing is Mars. ये खुराक बोला, खुराक में खाने का, whether खाने पीने का, whether वो खाने पीने वाला है कि नहीं, that will be seen from here. Okay. So here I have written a little bit of very short synopsis for you to understand. So here, since sun is exalted, body is the point to be understood. This is 100% दृष्टि में ये सात लाया खजाना. That is what is written in the Urdu. सात लाए खजाना. Meaning what you have got with you from your past life, all these things. So तुम्हारे नसीब तुम जो लेके आए about your body, about your wealth, about your property, and about your खुराक, how you are going to feed yourself. This is what is meant by the 100%. So that 100%, 50%, 25% doesn't mean it will be 25% effective or 50% effective. It is something different. Now, just to add on to that, if you remember, these are called khanas. Okay. The chart is called as a teva, and this thing is called as a khana. Now, here, if you see this red one, you will see there are 4 borders around it. Correct? 1, 2, 3, 4. If you see the third this thing third house, which are the 50% one, you will see that there are 2 only over here. Okay, 2 over here. And third one, you will see that is 1 because these are already taken over by these guys. So anyway, the 3, 5, 9, 11, which are the 50% aspects, if you remember, is basically दूसरों से पाए. 50% जो है ना दूसरों से पाए, I mean, what other people will give to you in this life. So here, what is the pakka ghar is taken? Here, exalted is taken. In these, the pakka ghar is there. So in 3, what is the pakka ghar? Mars, as per Lal Kitab. I'm giving you the chart. Please correlate that. 5th, 9th, and 11th is Jupiter. Remember? If you remember, pakka ghar of 2, 5, 9, 11, 12 is Jupiter. 5 houses. So here Mars is the thing. Here Jupiter. So Mars is basically what siblings. So what here you see, these are all your relatives which come here. Here your Mars, your brothers, siblings. In Lal Kitab, they have a little funny thing. They don't consider females very prominently. They say that the male is the bread earner and the female is the house, what you say, who looks after the house or whatever you call it. Okay. So thoda sa jara male chauvinistic type hai, but let's not get into that. So when they say that childbirth, they presume it is a boy. Anyways, so here if you see Jupiter, here they're saying Aulad. Okay, so this is again what your son will earn as a bread earner. This is your brothers will add on to the bread earner thing. This is what the son will add to the here. 9th is the father. So what the father will give to your earning, whatever it is. And 11th is the same thing, self-earned. Okay, so this is the meaning of the 50%. दूसरों से पाया हुआ. And तीसरा the 25% रिश्तेदारों से पाया हुआ. It is there in the लाल किताब का फरमान only. So दूसरों से means क्या? So here it is moon. Okay, So moon म्हणजे mother. So what you will get from your mother, so to say. Here it is Mercury and Rahu are the basically the what is it called? Uch Kastan. So Mercury is basically Valden and in-laws. Valden means your ancestral property, and Rahu is your in-laws. Okay. So Valden is basically your maternal side, what they mean. Means like Mama, Masi, that sort of a thing. That is what is seen from here. Forget 8 just now. And here Venus and Ketu is here. So Venus is basically the spouse. And Ketu. So here it is basically what we get from the spouse or the spouse ka family, or what you will receive from the in-laws of the child. Okay, you read this later on. So basically this is there. And 8th house is considered as the house of death or house of rogue. So if you see, the second house goes to the 6th house, goes to the 12th house, and the 8th house is again connected to the second house, 6th house, and 12th house. So 2, 6, 8, 12, which is the Mara, Rogue, what is it called, Moksha, and longevity, all are connected over here. Okay, this might be a little complicated as of now. Just keep this on record and forget about it. I'm going to the next one. Now here I have given a few examples over here, okay, for you to understand. Now take this sun for example. Suppose sun is seated. Now this is a very important thing that I pay attention over here, because I wanted to do the exercises through the week based on this one. So here let us say sun is seated here and Mars is seated here. This comes in the 100%. So this 100%, yuga adbar kya karte hain? Sun, sorry, this 100% is called Budh ki milawat. Budh ki milawat. They say that it is like milk is mixed with sugar, or rather sugar is mixed with milk. So pura ghul jata hai, it becomes one, right? So basically, these 100% ones, whichever are there, the three aspects which we have got, are called Budh ki milawat. So usme what they are saying is, what they are saying here is sun, because it is here, will obviously give the result of something in 4th house. But when sun goes here, it will give the mixture of sun plus Mars in 10th house. It will not give Mars in 10th house and sun in 10th house. That is one point which most of these fellows in the classes have not taught. They have said that when sun goes here, it will give sun 10th house, Mars 10th house, and sun and Mars 10th house goes. It is not like that. 100% drishti hai, so it will give sun plus Mars over here. So if sun plus Mars is making some Masnui planet, then it will give that Masnui planet ka thing over here. That's why you have to have that Masnui planet ka table baaju mein, and good bad ka table also baaju mein, friendship enemy. So if sun, let us say sun is the enemy of this thing. So let us say Saturn was here. If Saturn was here, then sun and Saturn are inimical. So sun going towards Saturn, so it would have had a sun ka energy on Saturn. And sun and Saturn together, I don't remember what it makes. I think it makes Venus or something. I don't know what. So let's say, I don't know. Don't catch me on that. Let us say it is Venus over here. So then suppose it will make a Venus over here. Let us say, so it will be Venus in 10th house. Okay. I'm just crossing this so that you don't catch me on that. But that is what is the Budh ka milawat. Okay. Then this 25%, 50% drishti is called as a something they say in Urdu, I don't know, but it is basically langde ko crutch dena, tang dena. So it is not a full merger, it is a support system. You understand the difference? Here it is a complete merger. So when sun goes and hits Mars over here, it doesn't merge into Mars. It will give sun in 11th house and Mars in 11th house effect. So the planet affects the house, not the planet. This is the subtle difference. Please understand one thing. 100% drishti, sun will go to Mars and sun plus Mars ka effect will come here. Sun going to Mars here, it will be Mars in 11th house, sun in 11th house. This thing. You understand? That is the difference over here. So it is called a support system. Langde ko tang dena aisa they call. It is called Mangal ki milawat. Okay. Similarly, when the it's a little different over here. In the 25%, it is also called Mangal ki Milawat. It is basically this planet going over here and giving the effect to the planet seated over there. Even here, it is the same thing, Sun, Mars. For example, I've given an example here. Venus in the 6th house is debilitated, right? So let us say you've got Venus here. It will give debilitated Venus in the 6th house. So 6th house is Rome. Venus in Lal Kitab is wife. So if there is Venus in the 6th house, it could mean that the person's wife is normally keeping unwell. Okay. But when this Venus by the 25% Drishti goes to the 12th house, it gets exalted. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean that this fellow's wife is going to suddenly become good. If Mars is seated there, Mars is the Karak of brother. So it can mean the native's brother or the native's brother-in-law or somebody who is brother-like also. So when Venus goes over here and Venus gets exalted, it connects with the Mars and it will say that his brother will get a very good wife. Positive wife. That's why I've written a brother's wife positive. I will repeat this entire thing in a synopsis form. This is actually the crux of Lal Kitab, I feel, and which I have been studying for so many years. But just yesterday, I came across one fellow who was explaining word by word. I've already spoken to him. If you can take special, he's very good. I'm in touch with him also. So what the thing is over here is this Budh ki milawat is milk plus sugar. ये ऐसा ध्यान में रखो. The 100% is Budh ki milawat. मुझे when you mix milk and sugar, you cannot disassociate them, right? You cannot take this like लंगड़े को टांग देने का तो लंगड़े को बाजू में कर सकते हैं, but crutch को बाजू में कर सकते हैं. Here you cannot do. So 100% is when this goes here, ये दोनों मिल जाते हैं. Milk and sugar gets mixed, and it will give the result of, let's say, sweet milk in this house, whatever you put salt and you put milk, then it will be a kharam, whatever it is. I don't know what will happen. That happens here. Okay. Here, when Sun goes here, Sun will give the result of the 11th house, Mars will give the results of the 11th house, and Sun and Mars not together, but Sun will affect the Mars in the 11th house. It's a different thing. It is not Sun and Mars together. Here, basically, Sun will give its own result, Mars will give its own result. They will not merge together. Here, what will happen is, here the planet will go there, it will give its own result over there, in tandem with which planet is there. If there is no planet over here, this fellow will not go there only. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say? It's a very simple thing. It looks complicated. If you study it once again, you will understand. I'm telling you again, 100% is milk and sugar. So it is 1. So planet going from here to here mixes with that planet and gives the result. The 50% is like I'm showing this as a langda vector. So ye pair hai, dusra pair nahi. You are giving him a leg, artificial leg. It's a support. So ye jo planet hai, usko ye support de rahe. And together they will perform whatever it is. Very similarly, the 25% also, it is a Mangal ki drishti only. So Mangal ki milawat. So again, same thing. You are giving this. So ye jo Mars which was there, which was his brother, this debilitated Venus is going to the 12th house and becoming exalted. So it is giving it a support. And it is giving support to the Mars. So it is helping the Mars. Suppose this fellow was not exalted, this fellow was a debilitated one, then this fellow would have gone down. He would have had a negative effect on that. All understood so far? Okay. Actually speaking, this was all that I wanted to discuss over here. What I want you to do is, I hope you have got those charts ready. I found my old charts. I've got around 50 charts which I made in this Lal Kitab style, 50 or 60 or so. Whatever. I would expect you to have at least by now around 20 charts ready, possibly. Okay. If you don't have in your friend circle or whatever, you can't get them, take some known personalities like Mahatma Gandhi, Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi. Those are typically found on the net. Every astrologer talks about that. So you will get that. Use that. So you will get at least some live this thing over there. And what I want you to do basically is see how these connections are working. Okay. Just connect. Don't get the analysis. Don't get the analysis. Just see whether, like, let's say 4th house planet hai, 10th house planet hai. So 4th house planet, just make a note, 4th house planet. So let's say Sun is here and Saturn is here. You write 4th house, Sun, go here, you write 4th house Sun plus in Yuti plus Saturn in 10th house. So Sun plus Saturn in 10th house, it's a Mercury की बुध की मिलावट ना, that Yuti. उसके बाद में just make a note whether Sun is friendly towards Saturn and Saturn is friendly towards Sun. So what happens is by this exercise, what we will finally achieve is we will not need a table by the side to understand whether they are friends or enemies. And plus we will understand which planet is giving a reaction where. So then the only thing pending for us to understand is what is the result of Sun in 4, Sun in 10, which will come later on. It is not very difficult. Like earlier also I told you, 4th house is basically what they said is your wealth. So if there is Sun over there, it means a ujala in the growth in the thing, no, in the wealth. Suppose Saturn was there, it would have meant deterioration of the wealth. If Rahu was there, it would have said that some gadbad in the wealth or wealth got by negative means, something like that. So don't get into that. Have all of you understood what I'm trying to say? If let us say you have a chart over here, okay, I'll demonstrate it on the chart, then only you'll understand what I want you to do. Can you see this blank chart? Okay. Now, what I wanted to do is, I want you to imagine that there is Sun over here. And let us say there is Saturn over here. Okay, this is 100% Drishti. Now, once you have that, what I want you to make a note of that, okay, we have seen that Sun is in the 4th house. It's going to give result of Sun in 4th house. This Saturn is in the 10th house. So make a note of that. So Saturn is going to give a note, this in the 10th house. Now this is Budh ki milawat. Make that also into your head that it is Budh ki milawat. So over here, Sun and Saturn together will give the result in the 10th house. That is point 1. Beyond that, what you want to see is whether this is friendly or inimical towards Saturn, whether this is friendly or inimical towards Sun. The third thing is, if you want, after this, you just take a screenshot of this if you want. After this, you want to see whether this is going to lead to any Masnui. Okay. So if I have to put this in a nutshell, what all we need to do, and even I am doing this, is first see this, second see this, third see this, fourth see this, fifth see this, and sixth see this. If we are able to do these 6 steps, we are able to read the chart. That is 50% of the task done. Then the 50% of the task later on will be basically to find out what are the results. The Sun 4th में क्या देता है, Saturn 10th में क्या देता है, and Sun Saturn मसनूई बनके और क्या देते हैं what? हाँ स्वाति, what happened?
सर मान लीजिए फॉर एग्जांपल किसी के नेटल चार्ट में यहाँ सन की जगह राहु और सैटर्न की जगह केतु हो, तो उसमें भी बुध की मिलावट एप्लीकेबल होगी कि ये पर्टिकुलर कॉम्बिनेशन के लिए रहेगा?
नहीं, over here, like what we say in Parashari, Sun and Saturn are always at 180 degrees apart, no? Here,
हाँ.
in Varshpal, they keep moving separately. So you might have Rahu in the 4th house and you may have Ketu in the 7th house or 5th house or 6th house also. So basically here you'll have to see, so suppose, okay, so we'll take your example. Suppose you say that Rahu is here and Ketu is here, correct? Now this, what they have said, this they are relating it to Jupiter, wealth they are saying, correct? If you remember the first slide which I told you. And this I told you, Khurak, the food. So here it might mean that he's been eating very sattvic food. And here
Okay.
it may be that he is taking wealth by wrong means. Or it could, if he is doing this, if this is sattvic, this could also mean that he is doing it by some occult means. He's an astrologer also. And in this thing that Ketu can come here, in the Varshpal, Ketu could come here. So this is what property. Okay. And let us say moon is here. And moon is connecting here. Moon is a Tarak of travel. So in this thing, he may be having religious places ka travel also. in that verse for. So
Okay.
don't get into that just now because analysis part will come later. Just now what I told you उतना ही करो कि sun इधर है, Saturn इधर है, वो जो 6 items थे अभी I think I've deleted that. I don't know whether I can go back to that. I can really go back
Sir,
to that.
so if we consider 3 to 11,
हाँ,
so in that if the third has two planets, so we have to first figure out what their impact will be in the third house, right?
third has 2 planets here. Let's say Sun and Mars are here.
Yeah.
And
So
here,
first we have to figure out their relation, right? In third house.
what you'll have to do is Sun in 3, Mars in 3.
Okay, and then 11th we
Sun
have
and
to
Mars.
consider.
Suppose there was Mercury over here, it would have been Sun and Mercury in 3, Sun and Mars in 3, Mars and Mercury in 3, and Sun, Mars, Mercury in 3. So I've got all those notations that as we go along, I will keep sharing that. So basically here it will be, let me make it better.
सर
Let us,
एक मिनट रहने दीजिए सर, एक मिनट
I'm
सर
putting it,
इस चीज में एक और क्वेश्चन है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल अभी जो सर ने कॉम्बिनेशन बताया, संकल्प सर ने या मैंने बोला, तो हमको ऑर्डर ही रखना है 1 2 3 4 5 6 देखने का, भली प्लैनेट की कॉम्बिनेशन कोई भी रहे वहां।
मैं वही बना रहा था जरा neatly. That's why I'm telling you wait.
तो sorry.
Now, when you've got Sun, Mars, Mercury, you will give the effect of Sun in 3, Mercury in 3, Venus in 3. Then you will give a combination of Sun, Mercury in 3, Sun, Venus in 3. Then you will give a this thing of Mercury, Venus in 3. Sun, Mercury to already aa gaya, Venus, Mercury aa gaya. So it's like saying this way, correct? This way. And then it is a Sun, Venus, Mercury all in 3. Then you want to go further. No, frankly speaking, I have forgotten those Masnui things. But let us say Sun and Mercury over here, just for discussion's sake, let's say makes Rahu, let us say, okay? I'm putting a question mark. Or just for discussion. Then you have to see Rahu and Venus ka combination also. You understand? So basically, 3 planets can give you maybe 30 different results. Now, beyond this, let's say this was not Mercury, this was Mars, let us say, and let us say Mercury was here. Mercury is also going to connect with this, if you remember. Mercury, I told you, it goes ulta. So Mercury going over here, so Mercury will connect with Sun, Mercury will connect with Mars, Mercury will connect with Venus, Mercury will connect with Sun, this thing, Rahu, like that. That is why I like this, that there are so many permutation combinations which can go on. Now, if you get tense about this just now, the entire exercise is lost. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I've gone through this entire thing umpteen number of times. I've got seasoned now. First, just learn to read the chart. तुमको ये दिख रहा है क्या वो बताओ. बाद में उसका analysis will come later. Don't get into that. I made that mistake earlier on what you're doing just now कि इसका oh Mercury plus Mars in the second house will mean something. Don't get into that. For the next 1 week at least, just see this. Suppose let us say I'm clearing all this. Just for discussion's sake, I'm saying that here you've got Sun, you've got Venus, and let us say you've got Mars. Oh, I should write it here. Let's say you've got Mars. And let us say you've got Mercury here. So what you need to do is, you need to see Sun in 4, or Sun in 3, Venus in 3, Mars in 3. Sun, Venus in 3, Sun, Mercury, Mars in 3, Venus, Mars in 3. So combination aa gaya. And then you have to make a note that we have got Sun, Venus and Mars in 3. Then you have to make a note, okay, Sun and Venus, again I'm putting just a question mark, makes Rahu, let's say Masnui. So Rahu with Mars, correct? This is the thing. Then since we can see this Mercury over here, you have to see Mercury with Mars, Mercury with Venus, Mercury with Sun, Mercury with Rahu in the 3rd house. But just make a note of this. Believe me, if you do this exercise, a huge amount of tension will be lost, will be taken care of. I'll give you my own example, which I've gone through, because nobody told us this method. They would just go khad, and we used to try to put the things in place and analyze also same time, and it would make a mess of things. First thing is to be able to read the chart. ये तुमको दिख रहा है कि नहीं? If you can't see that only, then what analysis will you do? You have to, if you have to hit, let us say, one bullseye, and you cannot see the bullseye, you're going to hit somewhere else only. So first learn to identify the bullseye. कितने bullseye है उधर? 3 है, किधर 3 है वो पहले identify करो. Then tap मारो, वो बाद में आ जाएगा. If you can't see the 3 bullseye, you're already hitting in the dark only. So the protocol for this week is as in how many charts as you want, and it doesn't matter whether it's a friend chart or anything. We are just analyzing. You just take down 20 charts from the net. किसी का भी रहेगा, Gorbachev का रहेगा, Hitler का रहेगा, किसका भी रहेगा, doesn't matter. Make it into a Lal Kitab format. The ascendant becomes first house, second house becomes second house, third house becomes. So it is a house related. Correct? Then make a note. Make a note. Ki, okay, Mars is in second house, Ketu is in third house, this is in fourth house, there's somewhere either cover. Then these 6 steps which I've shown you, if you've taken a photo, ठीक है, नहीं तो बाद में do that, put it in place. Don't get into the analysis part yourself. Even I am not doing it. Any questions over here? Or we will cut off and come back onto that kidney wala case that I want to discuss that. Because now Lal Kitab Jamapal should not fall back. Any questions over here? All clear on this? Okay, then I think let's log out and come back again. Okay.